If you're on the spiritual path, then you will probably agree with me that the source of all our misery is not the people around us, it's not our circumstances, but it is our own thoughts. It is our own mind. It is the story our mind keeps telling us. So, as a reaction to this understanding that my mind is creating all my misery, a natural reaction to that can be that mind is the enemy, so I'm going to stop my mind and I'm going to suppress the thoughts and suppress the feelings that are generated from my mind. But you probably know that that does not work. It is impossible to stop the mind from generating thoughts, even when we realize that these thoughts are hurting me. They are hurting my mental health and hence my physical health, and they are not good for me. If I didn't have these thoughts on loop, if I didn't tell myself these stories about my life that are causing my suffering, I would be a much calmer, more peaceful, more happy person. Even when we know all that, it is not possible to stop the mind from generating these thoughts. So what do we do? I think the solution is to, and this comes from Michael Singer, this is not my original solution. Michael Singer says that treat the mind like a toddler. So when a toddler throws a tantrum and says, give me candy, what do? Or what does a good parent do? Do they just give the toddler the candy? No. They will perhaps say to the toddler, well, not today, we can have it tomorrow, or let's just go home and we can play a game or something like that. So in a similar way, when our mind is throwing a tantrum, we can, instead of trying to shut it up, which will not work anyway, we can just kind of negotiate with our mind as if it's a toddler. So if your mind is, let's say, actually craving candy, let's say it's craving ice cream, and you can just say, okay, all right, no problem. I'll give you an ice cream. We'll just eat it tomorrow instead of today. Something like that. Similar to a toddler throwing a tantrum, we do not need to go along with what the mind is saying. So let's say somebody hurt me, and now my mind is on fire, like generating stories of, oh, they also did this in the past and that in the past. So now the mind is trying to build a case against them that today this person hurt me this way, and then a week ago they had done this, and a year ago they had done this, and 10 years ago they had done this. It's just like collecting material to like really make you very angry and perhaps yell at that person or confront that person or do something. We do not have to go with the mind. We can just be a witness to all these raging thoughts and try to observe them and tell ourselves that I am not these thoughts and I am not the emotions that are generated by these thoughts. So just by witnessing them from a third person perspective, these thoughts will lose their power over time, and they'll just come and go, just like clouds in the sky. They will come and they will go. So I found this analogy of thinking of the mind as a toddler very helpful. So thanks to Michael Singer for giving me this analogy. By default, we just make our mind the god, right? Whatever the mind says, do this or don't do this, or try to control people, try to manipulate people so that you feel okay. We do not have to go along with the mind. We do not have to make our mind the god. Remember, it's just a toddler. And when I say this, I'm talking about the personal mind, the psychological mind that builds up such stories. I'm not talking about the intellectual mind, which is helping you to solve math problems or solve problems at your work. That mind is great, and use it, and listen to it to solve problems. But this personal mind, this psychological mind that is literally throwing tantrums all the time, we do not have to listen to it. Treat it like the toddler that it is. Do not have to go with what it's saying all the time. And also, I want to say that when we treat the mind like a toddler, it's also coming from a place of love. We are not like scolding the toddler and saying, shut up, I'm not going to listen to you, or no way, or, take away your toy or something. No, we still have to be gentle. We still have to be loving to our mind. Michael often quotes this quote from Gita. It goes something like, don't trample the self, raise the self with self. So in other words, he's talking about the lower self and the higher self. So when we look at our mind or our ego or our lower self doing something that's we know that's not the right thing, that's not the healthy thing to do, don't trample it. Don't be hard on yourself, hard on your mind or ego. So don't trample that lower self, but raise the self with self, which means, exactly how you would treat a toddler. Like, yes, the toddler is suffering, it's yelling, it's screaming, but you don't scream back at it. You don't yell at it. You raise it. You raise it up you raise the lower self with the higher self. You give it love. You give it attention, exactly like you would to a hurting child. So look at it with compassion, treat it gently, and forgive it. And do not be overly critical. So to give you an example, let's say I yelled at somebody, and then I know that I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just taken a deep breath, or maybe I should have just stayed silent. And I reacted out of my ego. I reacted out of my lower self. So then if it's already done, it's in the past. Then I just have to be compassionate with that lower self who wasn't able to rise above and look at the anger or look at the situation from above and take a deep breath or slow down and maybe not say some hurtful words that I may have said under the influence of that anger. So I'm just going to, instead of like berating myself, like, why did you do this? And how come you forgot to take a deep breath? And how come you said all this without pausing? I am just going to forgive myself, and I'm going to say, it's okay. You did the best you could. The anger got the best of you. You lost your control. It's okay. Let's just do better next time. Something like that. So raise the self with self. Don't trample the self. Let me know if you have some analogy or some helpful tips or trick to deal with your mind when your mind is going all crazy. And I'm sure it would help the other people as well. So comment it down below so we can all learn from each other.